Hello and welcome back. My name is Aaron with Beyond Us Games, and we are going to be doing kind of a shorter tutorial for our part 3 of advanced turn-based combat, because we are just going to create the variables to set up changing the battle menu, since we already have working a summoning of all 3 players and all the enemies that you are going to have in battle. We just need to actually go through and alter the menu selection so that the enemies will attack players and that the players can choose to attack any enemy from any player. Right now we only can choose the first one because it's only registering that there's actually one to choose from. That works fine, but it's not enough just yet. So that is going to be in the next part, and that's going to be kind of a longer section because there's a lot to it. So in this one we're just going to be setting it up so to kind of take off some of that heavy lifting. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first thing we're going to do is open up our system object for battle controller, and we're going to create a few more variables in here. So we're going to come down here, and I'm going to put them right here. So and we're going to make these global as well, just because sometimes we're going to want to refer to them elsewhere. So we're going to do is selecting player, is selecting from menu, player chosen, and enemy chosen. And we're going to set these up as well. So is selecting player equal to false. Wait, actually, yeah. And then is selecting from menu will equal false. Player chosen for now is going to be 0. And enemy chosen for now is going to equal to 0. And then we're actually going to come in here into the parent object of the character. And when we collide, we're going to open up our code that we have here. And we are going to come down to the in combat. And we're just going to say the is selecting player is going to equal true. Because when we collide with an enemy, the first thing that we're going to want to do is choose which player to choose to attack with or do anything you want. Before we were just going directly to the menu, and we don't want to start with the menu because you want to choose a character first. So once we have that set up, we'll be ready to go there. Now we're going to go into the create event of the player character still, and we're going to come down here. We're going to add a variable called is defending. We're going to set this to false. Currently, we have is defending inside of the battle controller, and we don't want that anymore because this was when there was only one character, but now we actually want every single character to be able to defend or attack separately of each other, and when we do this, they'll be able to. So we're going to go ahead and open up the draw circle, and we are going to alter this code so that it actually is going to draw a circle over the player or over the enemy that we've chosen. The way that we're going to do this is add one more if statement in here. And so we're going to copy and paste this, because what we're going to do is just change this one right here to is selecting player. That way the circle will be over the player when we're choosing them. And let me increase the size of this for you. And then we are going to alter where the circle is actually drawn, because we actually want it to be over whatever enemy and whatever player that we've chosen. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to change this. We're going to say enemy party, and we're going to say enemy chosen .x, because it's in an array here. So we know whatever enemy we have, it's going to draw the circle on that enemy inside of the array. And this allows us to add, again, any more enemies dynamically and take them away dynamically and not have any problems with that. And we're going to do 32, true, radius, and circle outline. So we're going to come down here, we're going to get rid of this code, and we're going to do player party this time, and we're going to do player chosen .x, player party, player chosen .y, 32 true. Ooh. Okay. That right there will then allow us to be able to choose different enemies, different players, and have the circle actually draw over them. So we're going to change this selected player or enemy. And then next we're going to be going into the characters here, and we're going to open up each one, and inside of the animation end, we're going to alter what happens so that it is then character independent. Because right now it is not knowing which enemy we've chosen and which enemy to actually deal the damage to, and we also have to reset a couple of more variables. So we're going to change this so that it can attack whichever enemy we want. So this two, the first two we're going to keep. Then we're going to come in here though, we're going to change this to the enemy party, enemy chosen dot current health, and it's going to be minus equal, so it's going to say subtract the first part from the second part, and we're going to put this in parentheses to make sure the math goes through properly. Damage minus enemy party, enemy chosen dot defense. And I'll enlarge this so that we can see the entire thing at once. So we are going to say whichever enemy we've chosen, subtract the damage from their defense, and the damage is the player's damage, so in this case specifically Sarah's, because that's who we have selected. And then we're also going to add in a few more variables that to alter. So is selecting player equals true, and is attacking equals false. Because after we attack, we want to go back to choosing a player, and we want to say we're not attacking. So we're going to go ahead and copy this second part, and we can actually just go in and paste this over, because they're all going to do the exact same thing. Okay, that does it for that one. So now that we've got the animation end, then what we want to do is to have the enemies be able to choose and attack anyone who is still alive as well. So we're going to go into the enemy parent, and in the step event, attacking the player, we're going to make this a little more generic. Basically, when you are trying to add in multi-party systems, anywhere you've got a specific object, you want to replace that with the array of whatever that you've had going on, so that you can choose from that array and that it's not specific. Because if we say Sarah, we're not going to be able to do any other characters that we have, and that is not very helpful. So the first thing we're going to do is add in a variable called random player, and we're going to set this to iRandom range 0, 2. If you're not familiar with this function, it returns a random integer between the values of 0 and 2, and I in front of it means it will be an integer. If you just use random range, it'll return the value, any value between 0 and 2, so 0.1765, and basically an infinite amount of numbers between 0 and 2. But we want to do this because what we're going to do in here is each enemy will randomly choose a player to attack, and we want that randomness to be the same because we're going to, well, I'll show you right here. I'm going to say player party, random player, so whichever one just they randomly choose to attack, current health minus equal damage minus player party, random player dot defense. See, now the thing is that if we had come in here and we put random, if we put an iRandom range 0, 2, which we could do, we'd have to also put it here, and it would do the function twice, and so you have a fairly good chance that it's not going to return the exact same number, which would then cause issues. You'd be dealing damage to a player but calculating it from the defense of another character. It would just cause all sorts of weird things to happen. So we're going to do that, and that will allow the enemies then to be able to attack any character that is still alive. And the last little thing we want to change in here is the bunny. I saw the name is actually too long, so we're just going to say Doom Bunny. Now, if we press play, all of those things should be in place, set up, and working. We're still not going to be able to choose from multiple enemies, and we're not going to be able to choose multiple characters, but we'll be able to very soon. So if we come in here, ooh, let's double check this. So in the draw circle event, the object battle controller, it's not set before reading it. So I did just, looks like just chosen is an issue. So it's at draw event 3, line 4. And the code for that is also down here. So if you want to go back and you can look at that. So we'll go into the battle controller, draw event, draw circle, and the problem is right here, enemy chosen. So let's load that up again and press play. Now our enemy should actually attack all of our players this time. Okay, we're in, choose attack. So the circle won't move yet because we aren't actually changing the enemy chosen, but we'll see when their stamina raises up, boom, all of the players get hit, which is exactly what we want. Okay. And the last thing I want to do is also inside of the object bunny, if you'll notice that the health is just not actually correct. Part of the problem is that we've set max health to 15. We've given it more health. But then we also need to say in here, current health equals max health. And that will finish off everything. So the bunnies will have the correct health, the enemies will attack, and all of the variables we need are set up in place. So in the next part, we can start choosing multiple enemies and we can attack from multiple characters. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the section below. I get back to everybody. If you have any ideas for other tutorials or more things you'd like to see on this, please give me a shout out. I had someone suggest they wanted to see how to integrate skills. So that is going to be a section I'm going to add at the end of this tutorial section now. And I will show you guys a good way to add in a skills section to bring up a new menu to change things around a little bit like that. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I am having a great time doing it. Until next time, have fun making great games, and I will talk to you later.